Hello there, my name is Joshua Trigg and I refurbish electronics, or rather I've just started to get into this business for better or worse. Recently I've had I've had mostly success with it so far, but I have had a few recent failures that you can see from some previous videos that I've had. So instead, what I'm going to do is talk about the laptops that I currently have available at my store, Triggtronics.com, including this one, which you might be able to see is the most recent exact laptop that was it the most recent? Doesn't matter. That I attempted to refurbish. That laptop had a faulty storage eMMC drive. I successfully removed it. I unsuccessfully reballed it, completely stripped out some parts, and considered the whole thing a failure. So maybe I might still be able to fix it, who knows? But either way, this is, I bought a pair of them. This is the one that still works. I was able to test it. I put Windows 11 on it, or at least a version that can fit in here, and we're going to look at it. But first, we'll talk about the specs, and I'll show off the laptop in its full glory. So join me for that. Let's get started. This laptop is an Acer Aspire One Cloudbook 14A01-431. It is a budget-focused 2015 14-inch laptop designed for cloud-based tasks. It includes an Intel Celeron N3050 processor with 2 gigabytes DDR3L RAM and the very limited 32 gigabyte eMMC SSD. All of this is of course soldered into the motherboard, as seen in my previous videos. Its display is a 14-inch HD TN panel, 1366 by 768 resolution. Its graphics is an Intel HD Braswell graphics, if that means anything to anyone. Its battery is a 3-cell battery. Its weight is about a little over 3.5 pounds. Its OS was originally a Windows 10 Home or Pro, but this one is a modified version of the Windows 11 Pro. Modified in order to, of course, work with these low-power budget systems. Its connectivity includes an 802.11 AC Wi-Fi with Bluetooth 4.0. It includes one USB 3.0 port, one USB 2.0 port, an HDMI connector, an SD card reader, and a 3.5 millimeter combo jack. Okay, so let's start by just turning this thing on. So despite this thing being a relatively low-powered budget build from 2015, I think it was. Right. So this one actually has an HDMI port. Why it has one, I have no idea, considering that the CPU isn't exactly very powerful, but it can. And it will. Unlike the HP Compact that I ran last time, this one was installed with Tiny 11. And the reason why I use Tiny 11 instead of Windows 11 is because it is just, frankly, it's basically the version of Windows 11 that we should have gotten, with all of the AI slop stripped away from it, as well as the Microsoft malware, spyware, all that stuff. So what ends up happening is that it runs quite a bit better, and unlike previous versions of Tiny 11, this one will actually receive its security updates that it's supposed to. So this is the best version of Windows 11. So I just heard the Windows chime, so the speakers work well. Yeah, Windows 11 being stripped down as much as it is, doesn't include a lot of the software packages that are essentially microtransactions. So I've included some freeware in this, including but not limited to, Specky here just tells you what all is on the computer, what the temperatures are. that kind of thing. So for example, this tells me that it has 2 gigabytes of DDR3 memory. So, but I will move that over to this. So the monitor this is a 1080p monitor, which is actually quite... So I'm doing this video before that I do the specs review, because I do that in the I'm going to be doing that in the editing process. So I haven't actually reviewed the specs yet. So this is running at 1366 by 768. So this one must be running at 1080p. It's interesting because with the other laptop it ran as something different. Interesting. So let's bring up Task Manager just to see how well this old budget computer actually runs. So let's watch its performance. So performance is not something you'd be able to see very well. Of course, maybe it would be better if I recorded the display directly, but I don't really have the setup to do that. So I'm not going to do it, because I am very, very lazy. So last time I tried to look at this thing, it ran a bunch of updates, and it was essentially keeping the CPU at 100% capacity the whole time. It seems to be running okay right now. Something I was legitimately worried about. So with those running over there, let's get some things running over here. Let's open up LibreOffice. So yeah, I mean, running both of these monitors, especially this one at 1080p, I would think would actually strain the CPU quite a little bit for something, because this essentially is less powerful than some modern phones these days, or at least some of the better ones. So the battery does barely have any charge on it. It does not have a Bluetooth connection, but it can connect to Wi-Fi. It doesn't have any way to connect to the internet except through Wi-Fi. So that is rather important. So we are connected to the internet. So what we'll do is we'll just access some of the programs that I have on this. You know, all the functions that this thing should be able to do. Basically, it should be the basic thing that any computer does. So, and it of course is doing everything while connected to both of these monitors. So after I disconnect that monitor, we'll look at some of these things again and see if they run any better. We'll also test the speakers out at some point in time. So unfortunately, this thing does not have a DVD player, so we will not be able to play my lovely DVD copy of Don Juan. So the trackpad definitely works. This thing is definitely doing some work to try to get this thing uploaded, but again, its CPU is has been at 100% capacity this whole time, trying to keep these two monitors up. So maybe it would run a bit faster. Oh well, it didn't take too long. So yeah, I'm typing a book. I'm big and important. I have important opinions about things. No, we don't need to save my garbled mess. So I also have my broken SD card thing here. So we'll see if it reads that. It reads Little Helper right here. It of course is connected to that monitor through this HDMI port. It's connected to power, which is why the thing is on. So anyway, what else are we going to do? So more than anything on this laptop that will take up system memory is the internet, especially going to YouTube. I'm going to do what Linus Tech Tips like to do, and we'll go to YouTube and look at a crab ray video and see how long that takes. So the last time I looked at this laptop doing that, it took a long time, but again, not only was the laptop had connected to all the setup that it had before, it was also Windows was also updating. So that was taking up system resources, and things were taking forever. Of course, this didn't load up instantly, so it's still taking perhaps longer than it should. Over here.
Oh, and Firefox updated. Okay. Now let's go to the YouTubes. So this this version of Windows also does not come with Microsoft Edge or any version of Copilot, so I put Firefox on here, as I will on any Windows device that I sell. So yes, let us go to the YouTubes. But the best thing about Firefox is that, well, let's just say that it makes viewing videos on YouTube a lot easier than what YouTube or Google Chrome likes to do. And that was the reason why I switched from Chrome to Firefox. There are other equally good browsers for that as well. So we were able to get into YouTube pretty easily. Or at least, again, much easier than last time because it was updating. Actually, let's make this even harder. Remove this. Move that fun stuff over here. Of course, the resolution on this television here isn't particularly great, so let's look for grab. Oh, yes. We're going to be cutting out the ads. So we'll skip over this ad. I'll censor this. Holy moly. Actually, you know what? I'll just censor that image. But the video is having a difficult time starting up, but I don't know if that's, well, it's probably the computer. It's been at 100%, it's still hitting 100%. It's trying to, what's my memory looking like? The memory on this computer is nearly maxed out. It's at 89%, it sometimes goes up to 95%. This ad isn't even playing, that's usually the thing that will play the easiest. So we'll come back to Crab Rave after I shut off the monitor. Well, it's going to its next ad. Yeah, it keeps stopping to do to load in the video, and it's not really playing all that as smoothly as it should. So we're still at 89%. So maybe you can hear it through my Oh, and now it stopped. Through my earpieces. Yeah, I have the volume a little bit too loud on this thing. What is the volume at? Is it at 100%? Yeah, memory's at 95%. It's struggling. We're putting this poor thing through the paces, so hopefully it'll run a bit easier when I disconnect the second monitor. So let's check out the speakers. So yeah, as you can see, it just did not run the YouTube video very well at all. So let's try something that it should be a little bit easier for it, because the speakers on this thing should work. I didn't think it had speakers the last time I looked at it, but then after I had made that portion of the video last time, I found out that the speakers did in fact work. So I have some videos on this that I used to test out the VLC. So now that I have the YouTube off, not only has it freed up a bunch of memory, but it's also freed up the CPU. It's still 90% and higher on the stressing, but you know, the funny thing is that on YouTube there is a section of like copyright-free music that you can use for videos that it just goes all to collect there. I haven't really found too much in the way of just like bland elevator music. It's weird how I haven't really heard elevator music in like 20 years, and now that I'm in my 40s, I suddenly have an appreciation for it. Okay, so you just activated. Okay, come on. So I'm still. So the speakers are down here. Oh, the output device. There it goes. So that's why I didn't hear it last time. It was just set to not be the speakers. And don't worry, this laptop won't be haunted. Okay, all right. Actually, let me do that. Let me run that video again just to see how long it takes. That is a weird. It might be slightly haunted. But either way, even with all this stuff running, media files play just fine. So this time, without the second monitor, let's move all this stuff back over here. And we'll try the internet again. So we will shut that off. Okay. So at least from the stats here that it's telling me, it's not really freeing up all that much in terms of resources. Oh, no, there it goes. The memory usage did drop a little bit. Oh, the CPU has dipped below 90% for the first time since I started running it. but now it's just kind of all over the place. So let's do more internet. Oh, Firefox is installing updates. Great, fantastic. Okay, so Firefox, I guess, is updated, and it will probably need to update some more. I mean, as does any program you run. I don't know. I'll edit all of that out. Everything will be fixed in editing. Okay, so. It did load in quite a bit faster this time around. I think it did anyway. It's using less of its, well, it was using less of its memory, but now it's back up to what it was before. So, skip. So the video's been a little bit stuttery, but so far it's running quite a bit better than what it was when I was running both monitors, so this is a very notable improvement. So even today, in the year of our Lord 2026, a laptop from 2015 can definitively still mostly run just about whatever you throw at it, as long as you had your expectations. Yes, thank you. Reference achieved. So it says it's at 30-something%. I imagine that it's only been connected for as long as I've been running video, so it can't possibly be that high, I believe. So we will disconnect my USB. So yeah, pretty lightweight. The battery is 90-something%. I think it was at 99, 98 or something percent. I think Specky tells me that. Unlike my HP Compact, this is a 64-bit system. That is this laptop. I didn't look to see if it was able to register this thing on here. Actually, maybe I can do that right now. Since my little storage bit is busted on that thing, it doesn't usually register. So this thing tells me it has 8.69 nice gigabytes of free space available on it. The storage drive normally has, the storage drive says 32 gigabytes or gigabits. I always get confused about that. This one tells me it has 29 free. I mean 29 in total, of which 8.69 is free. So, but we can go to disk management and see if it registers this thing, and that'll tell me if that port works. Or it could be just a bad, that this is bad, and it actually kind of is. because it doesn't really show up on my... It doesn't technically, I have to go do some special finagling in order to find it. So it could be that that's not a good port. Maybe I hit it in upside down. That happens sometimes. No, because it can't go in all the way. No, it's not registering it at all. So, and there's an easy way for me to test that because I have this fun little device. Oh, yep, there it is. So it might just be a bad port, but I mean, who's going to use that port anyway? Of course, it could also be that this is just not compatible with this. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I guess except for this thing not really working. That's this laptop. So join me next time when I talk about another HP laptop. I'll see you then. Thanks for joining me. Take care and see you next time. Goodbye. The end.